Hi, everyone. I am Caroline Frank, and I'm a professor and department chair in the Life and Environmental Sciences Department here at UC Merced. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Let me start by telling you how we have structured the webinar here so that you know what to expect. I'm going to introduce our department, our two majors, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about why UC Merced is a great place to study environmental science and ecology, evolution, and conservation biology. And then I'm going to hand things over to Jessica Blois, who's going to moderate a panel for undergraduate students. Jessica Blois is another professor in the department, and the undergraduates will get a chance to introduce themselves when we get to the panel part. Of course, they're the real experts on what it's like to be here as an undergrad, so they get to tell you about their experiences. We also should have Robert Goodman here. He's our School of Natural Sciences career specialist, and he's going to help you answer some questions about where these degrees can take you. And after that, we'll have some time for your questions from the audience. Okay, so let me tell you a bit about UC Merced. So at all the University of California campuses, professors are scientists with active research programs and also teachers. So we lead research groups and we teach classes. And one of the cool things about the University of California is that undergrads can be involved in that research. I'll tell you a little bit about more about that later. But I really love being a scientist here at UC Merced because California has so much incredible nature to study and to protect. And our department, Life and Environmental Sciences, it's a little bit unusual for a department because we combine biology on the one hand and with environmental science on the other hand, like atmospheric science and soil science and geology and such things. And most universities will have those two separated, and we don't. So our faculty, so we have about 20 professors in the department. We integrate them in our research, and we do that for the undergrads too. So that means at the undergrad level, you get to also think across those disciplines, which is really cool. So we teach in the bio major, which is the largest major on campus. But then we also have our own majors that are smaller. So environmental system science or ESS, and then ecology, evolution, and conservation bio or EECB. So the majors that you have been admitted to. Congratulations, by the way, on that. And both of them are anchored in this amazing location that we are in and research culture. So why should you come to UC Merced? There are a couple of reasons. Thanks, Robert. Yeah. First, since we're a UC campus, with all of that will entails like top-notch faculty, rigorous research programs, and the prestige of a UC degree. But we are still small, which is a great thing because that gets you real opportunities to do research and build community. UC Merced is actually ranked #1 in the UC system for student participation in undergraduate research. And so at larger UCs, it's just much harder to get that experience. And here it's more like a normal thing. And we also have summer programs like UROC, Undergraduate Research Opportunity Center, that runs summer programs where you get paid to do research in the summer. It's open to all majors. And, there are workshops and database opportunities and things to connect you to faculty through that program. And the second reason to come here, so first research, and the second reason, especially for these two majors, is that our setting is really unique for the majors. We are the UC campus closest to the Sierra Nevada. We have a field station in Yosemite. We have a smart farm, 40-acre smart farm right on campus. That's kind of like a living lab where we use advanced technology, integrate that with sustainable agricultural practices. And students can do research and classes out there. We also have a nature reserve in our backyard, the Merced Vernal Pools and Grassland Reserve, 6,500 acres right next to campus, and one of the largest remaining ecosystems of its kind in the world. I was just out there the other day and I saw coyotes, I saw eagles, I saw lots of flowers. It's a great resource for field classes and research for undergrads. So for ESS and ECB, especially, so you have access to research, field opportunities, and these real ecosystems. And one recent really exciting thing is that all admitted students in these majors, they get to participate in something called Field Curious, which is an immersion weekend. Usually they go to Yosemite and introduces undergrads to field research during this weekend. And Jessica Blois just posted a link there in the chat, so you can look at that. And it's for free for students. It's designed to be welcoming to everyone. So especially students who don't have a lot of experiences with field research or field work, it's designed to be really welcoming, so they can see themselves belonging in that realm. And it's also great for building community with other students. I've heard some students talk about it as life-changing, in fact. So that's a really exciting opportunity. Um, Now let me tell you a little bit about the majors. So ESS, Environmental System Science, that's for you if you care about climate change, water pollution, protecting forests, managing land, and you study both the physical and biological systems that make up our environment. So you'll take chemistry, biology, geology, hydrology, soil science, classes like that. And you start by taking foundational classes in those areas, and then you can pick your upper level classes more matching your interests. So it's flexible. So you might focus on climate and atmosphere, or agroecology, or water systems, or ecosystems, and so on. And the whole thing is designed so that it's not just theory, it's hands-on, doing field work, doing experiments, working in a lab, hopefully. And then also because here at UC Merced, you have these access to these beautiful places, the Sierra Nevada, Yosemite, the Smart Farm, the vernal pools that I mentioned earlier. And then similarly, for the other major, EECB, Ecology, Evolution, Conservation, Biology, it's about understanding how nature works, understanding populations and species and ecosystems, evolution, how organisms interact, and studying the relationships between these living things and their environment. You can learn conservation strategies for protecting endangered species, endangered ecosystems. And like in the other major, you take these foundational courses first to build that foundation. And then there's flexibility with the upper level courses that you can take based on your interests. So you might focus on wildlife conservation or botany and plant ecology or evolutionary biology. And again, you're doing field work, lab research, and not just sitting in lectures. It's very hands-on. And on careers, I think both of these majors really open doors. ESS graduates, they go into environmental consulting and land management and government agencies like the Forest Service or BLM, water agencies, and so on. And then ECB graduates, they can go into conservation organizations, wildlife management, also federal agencies and consulting and graduate school, of course. And in California, I mean, these are really good careers to be thinking about because we have in, lots of environments that need protection, challenges like drought and wildfires and biodiversity loss and how to manage the water. So these are real jobs and real needs that are right here. One more thing about EECB is that we have two tracks. One is pre-med, so that you can keep that option open to go to medical school, or it actually is a great major if you want to go to medical school. So we have that pre-health track where you take the courses that med schools require. And so that's what we're excited about. So now let me turn it over to Jessica and to the students, um, the stars of the show. Jessica?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Caroline, Dr. Frank. I'm Jessica Blaise. I'm a professor here at UC Merced. I'm a paleoecologist, to sort of speak to one of the questions that came up in the Q&A. And so I study how mammals, primarily small mammals, have responded to climate change over Earth's past, typically focusing on the last 50,000 years or so of life on Earth. But that's my research, and I really want to introduce the stars of the show here, who are the students in our majors. We have four undergraduate students joining us today, and so I'm going to ask each student. I'll sort of ask you in turn, and one student might be having some Zoom issues. I see actually, Caitlin, that Marlene is now in the attendee list. If you could elevate her to a panelist, that would be great. But I will maybe have Cole introduce yourself first, and just maybe for each of you, tell everybody your name, the major, what year you are, or where when you're graduating, perhaps where you call home, something else relevant to you. And so Cole, maybe when did you go first?
Okay, hi. Like Jessica said, my name is Cole. I am a ESS major or environmental systems science major here at UC Merced. I'm a fourth year and I am from the Bay Area or East Bay, if we want to be specific.
Awesome. Mickey, do you want to go next?
Hello, I'm Mickey. My pronouns are she, her, and my major is environmental system science, and I'm in my third year. And I'm from Redlands, California, which is about an hour east of LA. Um, yeah, that's where I'm from, and I love this major. It's been really fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Weston,
Hello, my name is Weston. I'm an environmental systems major first year, and I'm from Santa Cruz, California.
and Weston, I think that you are also considering double majoring in EECB as well. Is that correct?
Yes, as a first year, I don't have the ability to apply for it yet, but starting next semester, you have the ability to start applying for double majors.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. And then Marlene, are you able to join us?
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Merlene Garcia. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a first year environmental system science major, and I'm actually from the Central Valley. I'm from Delano, California.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have a lot of ESS majors. ESS has a long history. The EECB major is only in his first year. And so, like as Weston said, it's a little harder to transfer into it at the moment. But both Dr. Frank and I would say, consider ourselves a little bit more on the EECB side rather than the ESS side. So I think together amongst all of us, we sort of cover all of the disciplines within our department. Okay. So if each of the students could maybe talk a little bit about why you chose your major, and maybe what you like about it, recognizing that some of you are in your first year, some of you are in your fourth year, and so your perspectives might be really different. And let's start this time with Mickey.
Hi. Um, I started and chose this major because I was accepted into UC Merced, and didn't really know what I was going to do yet. I originally wanted to study physics, but that was a lot of math. But I've always really liked to put the environment. I grew up in the mountains, so it was really exciting to be able to connect with it. And then I found the Yosemite Leadership Program here. So that's where I got the idea to go for uh, trying to pick up a park ranger. And so I figured an environmental degree would be really good to help that idea come true.
All right. I'm a first year, so I don't quite know yet what I want to do after I graduate from college. But when I was applying to UC Merced, I knew three things. One, I really liked STEM, I liked science, and I liked research. Two, I really liked being outside. I liked nature, I liked animals, I really liked enjoying just the outdoors. And the third thing was that I really, really liked there's not one specific class that I like. I really like understanding the connection between different subjects. So, environmental system science happened to be the major at UC Merced that appealed the most to me. It's about the outdoors, it's about science, it's about nature, and it's also about understanding all the different ways that the world and the environment interacts with itself. So, that was the main draw for me for my major. I have been enjoying it a lot. There have been a lot of opportunities that have come with this major. I recently was actually a near peer for Field Curious, which is this really fun weekend-long excursion about being introduced to field research. Yeah, I really enjoy my major. I'm quite glad I chose it.
Awesome. We're happy to have you. How about Cole? And then we'll go to Weston.
Yeah, so my my journey is kind of funny. So I kind of was with Mickey on what major I wanted to do. I wanted to go and do geophysics because I really wanted to do seismology. But UC Merced didn't have that. And so I was like, let me do the next best thing and let me do ESS. And in all honesty, when I first started, I had like no camping experience, no out like almost no outdoors experience. I just was like, I know I want to do something with the outdoors. And so that's the major I chose and the one that worked for me. And honestly, it's led to some really great things. And I have been able, I think it just goes to show that like if you're choosing one of these majors and you don't have a bunch of experience outdoors yet, that you don't need any of that. This is where you're supposed to get that experience. And that's exactly what I did. And I was able to do so many things. I worked in Jessica's lab and did research with one of her grad students. And I also helped Jessica with her research, and it's been really, really amazing. I really love my major, and I love being able to. And I don't know if I can answer one of the questions that's in the Q&A, but um, someone was asking about hands-on experience and physical work with animals. That's exactly what I did with Jessica. Like we captured small mammals in Yosemite, and it was really cool. It was great to like actually like handle these animals and help with them, and it was a really great experience. So I really love my major, and I really love what I've been able to do here with it.
Awesome. Thanks. It's been great to have you in the lab, Cole. And last but not least, Weston, what brought you to your major and what have you liked about it?
So, I actually applied to UC Merced's as a psychology major and ended up switching over to ESS because my experience kind of started off where I wasn't really interested in nature, but as like opportunities showed up around campus and I got to get more involved with it, I kind of found myself falling in love with just the outdoors in general and the opportunities that it presented. Um, and now I'm an ESS major.
Awesome. And I do also want to say that you don't have to engage or have a deep love for the outdoors to be in this major. A lot of our research also is computational. So I do a lot of computational work in addition to work in the field, and some of our faculty are almost purely computational. They're looking at large climate models or they're in the lab, et cetera. So you'll probably there will be a strong theme of field research tonight, just because of the students that we have here, but there's really lots of different pathways in both of these majors. Okay, so maybe on to the third question, though you guys have touched on aspects of this already in some of your answers. So maybe if you have anything to add, you can. So the next question is, what opportunities have you had at UC Merced to gain training or skills relevant to your major, either inside or outside of the classroom? And Weston, why don't we go back to you and start with you?
Sure. So one great thing about Merced that has been mentioned a few times, but I do want to reemphasize is that there's a lot of opportunities, especially as a first major or first year student, because Merced is so small that there's just not a lot of competition. You have a lot of opportunities to go out into the field. And one of those opportunities that I've gone on recently is Field Curious, where you're given the opportunity to do field work with a mentor as a group with other students. This is, yeah, one of the things that I went on recently.
I'm going to interrupt and say Joshua asked a question about whether our majors include marine biology or marine studies options. And I think you can definitely have classes or engage in research and teaching in marine biology from both of the majors. There's a number of faculty in the Department of Life and Environmental Sciences that do work in the marine realm. Michael Dawson, Mike Beeman, and Sora Kim are three that come to mind immediately. And they work on things like sharks and stable isotopes, on marine microbes and how microbes affect biogeochemical cycling in the ocean, and evolutionary history of octopi, and fishes and stuff in the Western Pacific Ocean. So there are opportunities. There's a marine science class. There's more specialized classes. So yes. Okay. So sorry for interrupting that and answering that question, but live and not typing. Okay, so I think the sort of original question was, opportunities we've had at UC Merced to gain training or skills, either inside or outside the classroom. Marlene, I don't know if you want to speak to that.
Oh, absolutely. So even though I'm a first year, like Weston mentioned, there are a bunch of opportunities that are available to us. It's not just that the student population is very small, but it's also the culture that all the faculty have. All the faculty and the upperclassmen, they all are willing to create opportunities, stepping stones for us. I mean, I guess I say us as in first year, second years, just the youngins, but it's such an open and friendly community. um, like Weston mentioned, I recently was on Field Curious too. It is a very fun opportunity because you get the opportunity to speak with a panel of people that already have careers as biologists, as researchers in the field, things like that, to give yourself the confidence to actually talk to somebody who's in the field, in the industry. There's Field Curious. There's also Bobcat Nature, which is a similar opportunity that I'm sure can be elaborated on later. But something that I really want to highlight is actually the extracurriculars that you can involve yourself in, as in the clubs and organizations on campus. There's one in particular that I have joined since the beginning of last semester, and that's the Paleontology and Life Organization. There's a lot of other organizations on campus as well that do outdoorsy and environmental science related things. I know that there's a marine biology, what I think it was a marine science or marine biology club. There is the Field Curious Club. But if you're willing to take the chance to contact those organizations, to go to their tabling events, to go to their general meetings, you'll find that there is a community there that will gladly take you in, teach you things you'd like to know, and bring you out to events that take you out to Yosemite, that take you out to the vernal pools, that take you out kayaking for free. You can do a lot of things, just so long as you're confident enough to go join some clubs.
Awesome, thanks. Mickey, did you want to go next?
Yeah, I think people tell me all the time that I'm one of the most involved people that they know. I'm up at 7:30 and my day usually doesn't end until like 8 or 9. But that's because everything that I'm doing is so fulfilling. I mentioned the Yosemite Leadership Program a little bit, which is one of our programs that we have in partnership with Yosemite. So that's how we really benefit by being so close to Yosemite. And that leadership program has gotten me really close to uh, the national park and really setting up a network there. And I was able to work an internship uh, last summer in Yosemite National Park, working in the museum. So really, like, I had a dream as a first year to become a park ranger, and I've done that job for a summer, and I'm going back this summer as a full-time position in the volunteer office. So it's really exciting. It's literally, I came here to do a program with this major, and I'm applying it even before I'm even graduating, because there are so many ways to apply the environmental systems science degree. It doesn't have to be research,
or specifically so science oriented. I'm really interested in, learning all of this science and finding a way to communicate it. That's what's really important to me. Um, so there's a lot of ways to use your degree and all of the knowledge that you're going to gain here that might not just be furthering your pursuit of knowledge, which is very important. But I wouldn't say that my postgrad goals are the most science oriented. So that's really exciting. Another program that I've done is Seeds of Connection, which was a new pilot program this year where we went straight to the Yurok tribe on the Klamath River. You might have heard of them from a really big dam removal. I think it's the biggest dam removal. Um, and we spent a week there over spring break. And I was connecting with people and being able to hear more traditional knowledge that related to what I was learning in my degree. So there's so many different ways to learn here for environmental system sciences.
That's awesome. And congratulations on the full-time position this summer. And then following up on something that you said, I think one of the emphases within the ESS major, which might be new since you started, Nikki, but there is an education emphasis that you can use, which sort of couples your training in environmental system science with learning how to teach and deliver environmental system science concepts to students. So I just want to mention that to you all. Cole, why don't you go next?
Okay, a lot of stuff has already been said. So I don't know if I have a lot, so much more to add, but I will say, like experience wise, I think me and Mickey are kind of in the same boat of like involving ourselves in like a million things at once. And so like I think Marlene talked about earlier, there is the Field Curious Club, which me and Mickey help run along with the Field Curious program, just to help students like dive in if they're interested in the field, kind of to get rid of that imposter syndrome I was talking about before, which is I think really important and something I really needed and was able to get, especially through like things like the Field Curious program. So I would say things that I personally did were like get into field research. I did, there's a course called Field Ecology and 148F. And that's how I actually met the grad student I work with, where I was able to like go into the field. I know Mickey was more talking about more of like the less research based opportunities. But if you're really interested in more research based environmental science pathways, I would say like going into research is like really important and also really honestly, like that's been said already, easy to do at this school with it being such a small school. And I tell like new students this all the time. It honestly, a lot of the times, all it takes is emailing a professor at the school and being like, are you looking for undergrads for your lab? I'm really interested. And they'll probably be like, yeah, totally. And like that's honestly how it goes. And it's really amazing. A lot of grad students will like reach out to classes and be like, hey, I want an undergrad to work with. Like who's interested? And then like people apply and it's like almost no competition. And that's how I got a lot of the opportunities. And I would say too, another great thing if you're somebody who like wants to go into the outdoors a lot more is there's the Outdoor Experience Program on campus, or OEP. And that is a it we lead students on trips outdoors. It could include hikes to Yosemite, camping in Pinnacles National Park, backpacking. So, and these are all things that you don't need experience to do. This one isn't a free opportunity, unfortunately. You do have to pay for these trips, but it is a really great way for students on campus, and it is discounted for UC Merced students. And it's been a really great way. I've seen a lot of students come through who, have never gone outdoors before. And so this is how they kind of get integrated into doing that. And it's been really cool.
Thank you. I think we'll do one sort of final question and then we'll open it up. There's a lot of great Q&A, but we can open it up for a broader Q&A. But maybe one final question to each of you. What piece of advice would you give to all the students that are here on this webinar considering joining the ESS or EECB major?
I would say that my one piece of advice is just reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out to professors, faculty, students, clubs. There's so many opportunities, and you can just reach out and you'll get so many different opportunities. But if you don't reach out, you're not going to get to learn about those opportunities or even experience them. So yeah, just talk to people.
Awesome. Thank you. Marlene.
My piece of advice is actually pretty similar to what Weston said. It's something that I've had to learn myself throughout this entire year. I'm barely getting around to like fully accepting it, but one, talking to people really is like one of the best things you can do for yourself because there is so much that is out there, like opportunities that you can come along with, labs you can join, trips you can be on, funding you can receive for research, but you won't know about any of it. And you might even be able to create it yourself if you talk to the right people and those people, start to tell you these things. So building connections with specific professors, some faculty that you might know and, keep talking to, that's a great start. Also, sticking around in organizations, involving yourself, especially if you can join leadership. That is a really great way to involve yourself more than just being a participant. But also, there are a lot of things that seem possible, but you don't feel yourself capable of doing. I would say you are more capable than you probably realize. Research is something, if you want to do research, but you feel like there are a lot of things that get in the way and you feel like you just can't do it or don't know how to do it, you are more than capable to be able to figure out how to do it. You're more than capable to figure out who can help you. And if your goals are more about like community service or joining the industry in any manner, in any way, so long as you have the confidence to put yourself out there and take the risk, even if you're scared that it's not going to go well or that you're not doing enough or that you're not good enough, you will do great. That's something that I've been learning this year, and it really is the best piece of advice I can give to all of you guys.
Yeah, I would say the best advice I would give is a little similar to Marlene, but it still kind of goes into that same thing of imposter syndrome I've been talking about. Everyone feels this when they first go to a new school. You see all these people doing these crazy things. I mean, we're all talking about the opportunities that we've been able to do. And, feeling you always will feel like you're not doing enough or like you don't have enough experience or that whatever you're doing is not enough for what it is. It is. Everyone starts somewhere, and that's something that I think all of us students like can hear in this panel can like tell you is that everyone starts somewhere, and no one's going to judge you for not understanding something or for wanting to pursue something or having an interest in something. And so that's also something Field Curious does for students is we want to break that barrier down. Like you guys we want you to want to do stuff. And I think that's like, I would say the biggest advice I can give you guys is like, if you ever feel like you're not good enough for something, or you're not going to fit in, you will. People will love that you're interested. I always love seeing when like ever I'm leading trips or anything, when a student's super interested and they want to learn more, I think it's great. So I would say if you're ever feeling that way, don't think about it. You're doing amazing as long as you're interested and having fun.
Yeah, I think I will touch on a little bit about time management. I mentioned that I'm a very busy person and I stay very involved. But the way that I'm able to do that is through time management. But not only that, is that understanding that burnout is a misalignment of values. So everything I do is something that I really value for myself and for my character. There are some work environments for programs that I've been in that don't work for me. And as much as I valued that work, the way that it made me feel was not something that I valued. So I think always reflecting on, is this work worth it to me? Is this something that I'm going to come out of and be proud of the product at the end of the day? So really understanding, is the work that you're doing, uh, something that you are proud of? Is it something that you want to come back to day in and day out? So I know people like change their degrees quite often in college. And I think that's a good example of like, oh, I started in this, but I don't think it really aligns with my values, so I'm going to study something else. So don't be afraid to change path or reject something that isn't working for you, even though that's what everyone else is doing. Um, that's how you can manage your time and avoid burnout.
Awesome. And yes, Cole, if you want to talk about California ecology and conservation, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is kind of along with like opportunities and things to kind of get like out of the classroom. I think that's something that like I really love doing, and I think a lot of other students love doing, is getting off campus and doing field work. And one of those opportunities is the California Ecology and Conservation course. It's a UC wide course, and it's technically with UCEAP, which is the program through the UC where you can go abroad. But this is technically not abroad, but what it is, it's a semester long course where you go to a bunch of the UC natural reserves across California, and you get to perform field research and do your own research and come up with your own ideas. And once again, for this kind of thing, it is an application that you apply for. But they select students from each UC. And so if you're at UC Merced, because it's a smaller school, you do have more of a likelihood of getting in. I was the only UC Merced student with all the other UC students on this course. So they would have accepted another one if they applied. But essentially, you go to these natural reserves, and the professors and TAs and course assistants help you with understanding how to formulate like your hypothesis, your research question, how you would do your research. So if you're someone who really wants to understand how to do field research, by the end, you get to publish your own paper in the California Ecology and Conservation course journal with UC Nature, formerly known as the UC Natural Reserve System. And being an undergraduate and having a published research paper is not a thing. That's not common at all, and it's very, very good for resumes. So if ever in your 4 years at UC Merced you want to leave campus for a semester and go and do this field course, I highly, highly recommend it. It's a great time. I would say it was the best 7 weeks of my life. I made lifelong friends. And it's a really good opportunity if you're someone who's wanting to get into field research, or if you just want to figure out, like I was someone with already a bunch of field work experience, but I suck at writing. And I really wanted to learn how to write scientifically. And so that's why I wanted to take the course. And I learned a lot from the course on how to write scientifically. So if you're ever someone who wants to do that, I very highly recommend taking that course.
Awesome. Thank you, Cole. Yeah, like I said, it's what I think of California Ecology and Conservation as study abroad, but within California. But I did want to point out, I was a UC undergraduate many years ago, and I did study abroad in Costa Rica, the UC Tropical Biology and Conservation Program, which was a study abroad program in Costa Rica. And it was also life-changing. And in all of these programs, you're taking classes in your major. And so we work with these study abroad programs or the California Ecology and Conservation Program to try to maximize the credits that count towards your different classes in your majors.
Robert can speak a little bit to the careers that these degrees open up, or the career paths.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many careers out there in the life sciences. I always tell Dr. Frank that it is my favorite major to work with because it's so competitive out there with that major into the job market. You're actually fairly easier to actually go out there and get a position than perhaps some of the other majors that are out there. So when I think of environment, I think of individuals that are going to go out there and lead us into the mid 21st century, into pioneering areas that I never even thought maybe we'd go. We just had NASA here the other day, last week on Wednesday, and brought out NASA's leaders. In fact, we rooted on the Artemis 2 mission to the moon live on Wednesday with NASA in the house. And it was their atmospheric science leads. It was their individuals that monitor, our atmosphere, and not only our atmosphere, but like the moon's atmosphere, Mars' atmosphere. And I just think like where you're going to go in the future, possibly, and what you may be looking at. I saw someone in there that was interested in a lot of our astrobiology areas. And I just think of like the amazing things that you might be able to do in the future. We have a lot of great positions at the bachelor's level for you in ESS. There's a lot of great work when it comes to city and county regulations. There's a lot of environmental policies. There's a lot of soil testing, water testing, air quality testing that's out there. And if there is something wrong with the air or water or soil, really it's going to be your role to make recommendations to city leads of how to really pivot to make our water healthier, to make our air healthier, to make our soil healthier. And it's really going to be up to you. And I feel like UC Merced is positioned perfectly in an area that really does do that. I mean, 42% of our student population here on campus engage in undergraduate research, and they're doing that. You saw me link up the Sierra Nevada Research Institute that we have here on campus that measures our snowpack year after year after year for the state of California. That's our future water. That's our water in the summer, and it's the responsibility of UC Merced to really make sure that we get an accurate count, and students get to participate in that. Students get to participate in that California story, telling the entire state how much water we have in those mountains coming down over the summer. I listed also in chat our awesome Yosemite Leadership Program, a signature program to give you leadership training when you go out there and you want to be a forest ranger or work within the parks, or perhaps go to Washington, D.C. and help create even more parks. That Yosemite Leadership Program is a signature program only found here at UC Merced. It's one of my favorite programs because here at UC Merced, we are right next to Yosemite National Park. We're right next to those Sierra Nevada park systems, and it's actually a very easy drive to get up there. In fact, I've heard from a lot of students that they actually study up there as well. And so there's a lot of things that you can do, and I'd love to take your questions. I'm sure you have a lot of them. I saw a lot of health questions as well. I can help with that as well in case you are on that journey, in case you are on that track. I might be able to give you a head start. One thing I want you to do, though, is if you come out for Bobcat Day, I want you to go visit the Career Center on campus. It's in the library, and I want you to say hello to maybe me and maybe other staff members. And I'd love to get to know your story. I'd love to know your dreams, your goals, and where you want to go. And maybe we can give you a head start prior to coming here on campus for fall semester.
I started out as an undergrad thinking I would be a doctor going into a health major. And I do think that you can come to health sciences from lots of different majors, from engineering, from social sciences, and from natural sciences. As I think Robert said in the chat, it is helpful to be a biology major in some ways, shape, or form because it just the courses align a little bit more, or a STEM major, I would say at the least. But in EECB, we do have a pre-health track or emphasis, so you can be an EECB major with a pre-health emphasis, and that essentially just helps you align the courses that you take throughout your undergraduate career here, so that they feed more directly into the health sciences. Oh, when is the next Bobcat Day? Saturday, April 18th. Yes. And Robert will be there. Dr. Frank, Caroline, and I will be there. Actually, I don't know if Caroline will be, but I will be there at a table for Life and Environmental Sciences for the two majors for ESS, EECB. I think a lot of the student clubs and organizations will have booths. Marlene, will Pal have a table for Bobcat Day?
Oh yeah, we
Yep,
will. I'll
right.
be
You
out
usually
there.
do. Yeah, Marlene will be there. The Natural Reserve System, Field Curious will be there. So there will be, it will be a really good chance for you to connect with all of us in person. Um, and um, and just come up and introduce yourself. We just see names in the chat and you guys see our faces. So remind us or let us know that you participated in this webinar, and I would love to meet you all in person.
I sadly will not be there because it always overlaps. I host a yearly conference in Yosemite
Right.
on
Yeah.
symbiosis, where undergrads sometimes from UC Merced participate and present, by the way.
Yeah.
But you should definitely come if you have the chance to come to Bobcat Day and just visit campus and see it.
Yeah.
I think I think you'll like it.
Yeah. And I see there's some answers being made here, but just in terms of types of jobs you can get on campus, I think you can get a range of jobs. There will be probably a more formal typed answer, but or typed out answer, but there are students who have work study, who work, in the cafeteria or the pavilion, who work in the library, who work in like the front desk or sort of student assistant roles. There are lots of jobs working in labs, research labs with professors. I used to be the faculty director for the Natural Reserve System for the Yosemite Field Station and the Vernal Pools Reserve, and we always every semester hire student assistants to work with these facilities. They hire student assistants to work with our environmental planning department. They hire student assistants to work with the smart farm. So there's a lot of different kinds of jobs on campus. And yeah, some of it, I think they're all posted on Handshake, as Robert mentioned. That's the sort of job clearinghouse we use now. So
Another opportunity is to be a learning assistant. We have a learning assistant program. I'm teaching the intro bio class right now with two other professors, and it's a big class. And to make that more interactive and personal, we have TAs in the classroom, learning assistants. So they are undergrads who took the class the previous year, usually, and they're active in the classroom and help with active learning. And it's a great way to help you guys succeed in the lower division classes to have these learning assistants.
yeah, and especially if you are wanting to become an educator yourself, being a learning assistant is a helpful opportunity. Um, but I also find that just to further my own learning, right, the best way to learn material is when you have to teach it. And you have to tell other people about it. So I also have taught in the intro bio series, and I know intro biology way better now than I did probably, at any time up until I knew intro biology pretty well when I was an undergrad, but then I forgot a lot. And so then I relearned it all teaching it. But so I think especially if you want to go on and career in biology or in the sciences, lots of different majors, not just biology, have learning assistants, but it's a really good way to reinforce the material. Um, and yeah, and I think all the different positions, like the research positions on campus, um, some of those research positions are um, paid research positions. So like, for example, Cole mentioned that she worked with me and my grad student over the summer, and that was a paid opportunity. Sometimes professors also, you can also as an undergrad work with a professor for research units. And so, um, and some majors require you have some research experience as part of your major. And so I think does ESS still require that, Caroline? And I believe that
Yeah.
that is one, yeah, ESS, and that's one way that you can fulfill that requirement is by essentially working for credit, um, doing research with a professor in a lab. It could be that it's a little low right at the moment in terms of jobs because it's middle of the semester, but there could just be actually more of a technical issue there because I feel like there should be some jobs that are posted right now. So It was really nice seeing you and talking with you, and you guys had so many great questions in the chat, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you taking time away from your Tuesday evening to spend it with us and learn more about our majors. Caroline, do you want to? And thank you also to Robert for joining us, to the folks working behind the scenes, and as especially to Marlene, Weston, Mickey, and Cole for giving us your time and your expertise and your perspective as students. That was just really helpful, and I really thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you for that. And thanks for everyone who came. And I hope some of us get to see you at Bobcat Day. I really think you should come out and see us. Yeah, thanks for showing up.
Sorry, I wanted to mention something quickly about because a lot of people are asking about jobs. Right now, I currently work two on-campus jobs. So I'm a student assistant for the Natural Reserve System, and then I also work for recreation and athletics for the Outdoor Experience program. And just so everyone knows, they only let you work two student jobs. I've learned that the hard way. I've had to like switch around. So just because like I think it's already been mentioned in the Q&A, but you're capped at 18 hours a week. Just so like students can keep that work-life balance. And so just so you know, you can have multiple jobs, but but you're limited to in total it being 18 hours. But you can also do like I'm also still in Jessica's lab as a student researcher, but for research credits. So you're able to have a job and also do research if they're, different things and they're allocated differently.
Yeah, and I'm on Handshake right now. I went into the staff side of the house. There are currently 27 on-campus positions available for undergraduate students, and they range from summer resident assistant to recreation attendant to live and learn community, which if you are coming in as a first year, you will get to know very well. Dining associate, student support intern. We have a number of different opportunities available right now. You're going to have to look up and filter through all the jobs. If you somehow do have access to Handshake already, you'll have to filter it by on-campus student employment, and that it should pop up all the opportunities available right now.
Robert, maybe you can take this question about internship opportunities outside of campus. Oh, in and outside of campus.
And so there are several. Our proximity to the Bay Area makes it actually fairly easy for our students to actually gain access. I always say that we're in Silicon Valley's backyard. We're actually not that far away from the Bay Area. We're really only an hour and a half away from Livermore. And so we have a lot of different organizations that we have partnerships with, that we collaborate with. Law students do go out and get those internships out there. We have an externship program here within the city of Merced, where we work with the county of Merced, and get you connected and get your foot in the door of local county government, to assist with environmental specialists, opportunities. And we have a lot of great partnerships with our city county friends as well, up and down the valley. And so it's really, it's a big question. It could be infinite. But if you come to Bobcat Day, I'd love to hear your story, your specific interests, and I'll see if I can find something for you ahead of time.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you on Bobcat Day or on campus in the fall.
See
Thanks,
y'all there.
everyone. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.